Dear Patriots, before the news starts, please subscribe to our patriotic channel by clicking the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up to this video. Don't forget to leave your opinion below in the comments section. Share the news on Facebook and Twitter so you friends see it. Thank you.
When liberal reporter mentioned James Comey, Sarah Sanders brought the beat down. White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders did her thing Monday and brought the paint train bearing down on former FBI Director James Comey. A reporter from Reuters asked Sanders about Steve Bannon's 60 Minutes interview, in which he said the firing of James Comey was the biggest political mistake in modern history. As always, Sanders brought her A game, making sure everyone knows President Trump has no regrets. First, on the Comey firing, I think that we've been pretty clear what our position is. And certainly, I think that has been shown in the days that followed that the president was right in firing Director Comey. Then she reminded everyone exactly why Comey was fired, and the shady things he's done since then. Since Director Comey's firing, we've learned new information about his conduct that only provided further justification for that firing, including giving false testimony, leaking privileged information to journalists. He went outside of the chain of command and politicized an investigation into a presidential candidate. Boom baby. Then she hammers it home one more time for the people in the back. I think the president's been very clear about his position on that front. He's very pleased with the new director, and has full confidence in him to fully restore and lead the FBI. Whoop whoop. 3 cheers for Sarah Huckabee Sanders. No one sticks up for Trump the way she does, and no one does it with such tact. Share her sassy response at 50,000 times. HD Real Clear Politics. Move over Sean Hannity. Fox just gave Laura Ingraham the best job ever. If you all are fans of Laura Ingraham, get ready because she just bumped Sean Hannity from the 10 p.m. spot on Fox News. Now, before you go and get too worried, Hannity is just getting upgraded to the 9 p.m. slot and the 5 is getting moved back to 5 p.m. Still, this is a huge announcement of Ingraham, who has been waiting decades for her big break into conservative news. It finally came last month when she was asked to fill in for Tucker Carlson for a few days. After her performance on camera and the reaction from the audience, Fox knew what it had to do. They hired her on and promised her a show of her own off the bat. Honestly, this is a pretty unbelievable deal she managed to get in the world of cable news. Pretty much nobody gets to walk into the studio and get set up with a daily 9 p.m. show to start. It's no doubt her years of media experience have absolutely paid off. Well, either way, now you all know the new show times for Fox's fall lineup. Get this out to every Fox News watcher you know so they can see what direction the Murdochs are taking their channel now. Brutal Trey Gowdy just exposed Dems' biggest fear, the Woodson Mueller investigation. It looks like the Justice Hound of the House, Trey Gowdy, is back again, and this time he has discovered something the Democrats don't want getting out about that dirty dossier on Trump. So Rep. Gowdy was busy doing his duty as the chairman of the Oversight Committee when bam, it hit him. He needed to see what the FBI and Justice Department saw in that dossier that made this whole investigation into the Trump campaign start in the first place. Trey Gowdy said that Dems are scared that the entire investigation into Trump was built on a piece of fiction. Gowdy told the Daily Caller, "I don't know why anyone, from California Rep. Adam Schiff, to Vanity Fair, to Rachel Maddow, would not be curious whether or not the world's premier law enforcement agency relied upon a dossier in connection with an investigation without vetting it. For the life of me, I don't understand why they are focused on this, unless they are fearful that the Bureau did rely on a piece of fiction." According to Trey, he thinks that Comey may have jumped the gun and started the case without vetting any of the info. It makes sense since the dossier was already disproven. If that is the case, then the entire investigation is a sham and Comey and Susan Rice and Loretta Lynch need to go on trial instead. This is a big breakthrough for Trey, Gowdy and every conservative. Make sure everybody sees this. Vice President Pence barely escaped an assassination yesterday and nobody is talking about it. Yesterday afternoon, Mike Pence was busy visiting Pennsylvania for the 9/11 memorial honoring the heroes or Flight 93. It was during that visit that he escaped an assassination attempt. Right before Pence flew into town, the Secret Service caught wind of William Robert Dunbar's plan to take out the vice president. Dunbar, a 22-year-old National Guardsman from New Jersey, was arrested on duty for saying, "If someone pays me enough money, I will kill the vice president." That's right, Dunbar wanted to kill Mike Pence. It seems like he simply lacked the courage to do so without some backing. Luckily, he was reported for his violent rhetoric and sent to the county prison in lieu of his $250,000 bond. Luckily for us, this would-be murderer was stopped in time and VP Pence and his wife were able to make their trip safely and successfully. They even released this beautiful video of Pence's trip and commemorative speech for our fallen heroes of 9/11. If you are glad that Vice President Mike Pence is still alive and the perpetrator was arrested, celebrate with an amen. If you want to help warn him, Trump, and everyone else how dangerous and deranged these leftists are becoming, share this and let the world know. Sick taunts after Eric Bollings' son's death should leave leftists hanging their heads in shame. You know leftists are sick when they start making fun of an innocent young boy's death. Eric Chase Bolling reportedly died on Saturday under mysterious circumstances. He is the son of Eric Bolling, a former Fox News host who was fired over allegations of sexual harassment. Bolling Jr. was only 19 years old and a student at the University of Colorado when he died, apparently suffering from extreme emotional torture over his father's scandal, according to TMZ. Most of the responses to the news were overwhelming, kind and supportive, but a few were truly sick. Apparently, the compassionate left is really into things like emotional torture and actually lauded Eric Chase Bolling's death, according to the Daily Caller. There are just a few. I hope these leftists take a good hard look in the mirror and realize how callous and cold-hearted they sound in the face of terrible tragedy. It's a sad day when a man loses his son and the first thing that comes to mind is karma. HT Daily Caller, TMZ. Right after the 9/11 ceremony, Trump made history with two simple words. Y'all, 9/11 was truly a terrible day in American history, one that all who lived through it will never, ever forget. It has been 16 years since. It has been 16 years since 9/11, and remembering it still brings Americans a sense of sadness and also pride and unity in their country. President Trump marked this event in a formal and somber fashion, placing a wreath and giving a speech. But President Trump did not stop there. He wanted to take it a step further and commemorate this day like no one has before. President Trump officially proclaimed September 11th of each year Patriot Day. President Trump outlined the purpose of Patriot Day in a White House statement. On Patriot Day, we will honor the nearly 3,000 innocent lives taken from us on September 11, 2001, and all of those who so nobly aided their fellow citizens in America's time of need. We rededicate ourselves to the ideals that define our country and unite us as one, as we commemorate all the heroes who lost their lives saving others. Wow! This is an incredible gift to the American people, reinforcing the spirit of unity, compassion, and patriotism that showed itself after 9/11 for all time. Share this out 10,000 times so everyone can see how President Trump has honored the 9/11 tragedy. htwhitehouse.gov Just as the Supreme Court just gave Trump's travel ban a huge new gift. Good news for President Trump's travel ban. The Supreme Court just allowed a temporary lift of the ban's restrictions. Last week the notoriously liberal Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals barred the government from refusing to take in refugees that are part of the U.S. refugee admissions program or have assurances from resettlement agencies. Justice Anthony Kennedy signed the order that temporarily blocked the Ninth Circuit's order, meaning the refugees in that category will continue to be barred. The Supreme Court's decision came 2 hours after Acting Solicitor General Jeffrey Wall filed a request for a stay. Wall's rationale for the stay is as follows. Unlike students who have been admitted to study at an American university, workers who have accepted jobs at an American company, and lecturers who come to speak to an American audience, refugees do not have any freestanding connection to resettlement agencies, separate and apart from the refugee admissions process itself, by virtue of the agency's assurance agreement with the government. He continued. Nor can the exclusion of an assured refugee plausibly be thought to burden a resettlement agency in the relevant sense. President Trump's travel ban is meant to prevent travelers from Iran, Libya, Somalia, Syria, Yemen, and Sudan from coming to the U.S. for 90 days. The Supreme Court will hear 2 cases challenging the ban on October 10. This is great news for the Trump administration. The challenges against the ban are clearly on shaky ground, and they're only getting shakier. Liberty writers will be following this case closely, so stay tuned, patriots. And don't forget to share. HTMSN